The college football championship game ended last night as Georgia steamrolled TCU 65-7. Number 1 Georgia smashes number 2 TCU 65-7. Wasn't even a game, wasn't even close. Georgia from the opening gate just blew away TCU. Stenson Bennett 18-25, 304, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. But Beck came in at the end of the game for 2 completions out of 3 attempts, 31 yards. McIntosh had 8 carries for 50 yards. Robinson had 7 carries for 42 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Stenson Bennett had 2 rushing touchdowns, 3 carries for 39 yards. So he had 4 touchdowns in the air and 2 touchdowns on foot. 6 touchdowns total. Milton, he had a touchdown, 10 carries, 33 yards. Bowers, he had 7 receptions for 152 yards and a touchdown. McConkey had 5 receptions for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mitchell had 1 reception for a 22-yard touchdown. Georgia's offense was explosive. Stenson Bennett was unstoppable. TCU looked like they should have been there. It was crazy. It was a blowout game. Georgia just smashed TCU. Their offense was all over their defense. The game was in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, so maybe TCU partied all night, the whole time they were there. Maybe that's why they didn't come to play. Bullard had 2 interceptions for the defense. Alexander had a sack. Williams had a sack. Walker had a sack. Smith had a sack. Bullard had 2 interceptions, and that was about it for the defense. The defense was just smashing TCU. They were all over them. Baylor Jr. had a sack, and Alexander had a sack. Georgia looked unstoppable. Stenson Bennett looked really good. For TCU, Duggan, 14 of 22, 152 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had a bad game. DeMarcado, 14 carries, 59 yards. Bailey had 2 carries for 9 yards. Duggan had 10 carries for negative 38 yards, and he had 1 touchdown on foot. Davis had 5 receptions for 101 yards. Conwright had 1 reception for 15 yards. Their defense really didn't do nothing. They didn't have no interceptions, no sacks. Their leading tackler was Hodge, and Hodges was 6 and 5. Other than that, they didn't do nothing. Game was a blowout. I don't remember this much of a blowout in the national championship game ever. Georgia, number 1 Georgia, goes to 14-0, stays undefeated on the season as they smash TCU 65-7. TCU, number 3, falls to 13-1 on the year, their first loss of the year. But the season is over, and the national championship game is over. It was in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, and the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs smashed the number 3 TCU Horned Frogs 65-7. Did you guys watch the game? Let me know what you think. Where's your team at? Thoughts, comments, questions, opinion in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Blaze One Sports.